Good morning and welcome to the Sudoku channel. This is Oliver coming to you from Youghal by the Sea in Ireland over here in Europe. And every week we try and go through some of the archives of the diabolical Sudoku puzzles from the Telegraph newspaper. And we're looking today at the one of the 18th of June 2021, and this is number 97 in our series, and it is number 5529 in their series. As always, in part 1 we use the basic solving techniques, and we only go to part 2 if, well, two things. If I have to resort to putting in every candidate in every cell, I look upon that as a failure, or if I have to start looking at the more advanced techniques. So if either of those happens, we'll then stop this video and go on to part 2. Okay, so this is it here. I'm using Seven's Sudoku pad, which I find very handy. And if you're a newbie to Sudoku, you should try and download it and use it. You can double click on a candidate in the cell and it'll show you where else it appears. So based on the one, we can see what. Well, for starters, over here, we can't have a 1 over there, there, or down here. So we get a unique 1 to throw in there, which will help us now because it doesn't. Let's forget about that. Because we can't have it here or here, which leaves 3, and over here we can't have it here or here, which also leaves 3. In the middle, we can't have it there or there, so we get a Snyder pair here and put those in. Traditionally, the Snyder pairs, they go into the corners. That's it for the ones. Let's go on to the 2s now. You know what? I can't see anything there for the 2s. Maybe I'm just blind, but we wanted the 3s. Well, up there at the top is the straightforward one. It can't be across there or across here. So it leaves 2 spots there for our Snyders. And up again. Okay, down this way. Not here and not here. So stick 2 in there, the 2 3s. And I think that's all we can do, which is not very much when you look at it. 3, 4. Hopefully it'll improve later on. Well, okay, can't be there or there, so we're going to put a unique 4 in here. Now we get more out this way, can't be there or here, so 2 4s in there. Get the right one. That's it for the 4s, onto the 5s. Well, not across there or across here. So this becomes the 5, and we're getting rid of a 3, which means that this now must be the 3. 5 again. Well, clear that, and that is where our Snyder 5s are going to be now. Well, in this house, can't be there, can't be here or here, so 5s drop in there. I'm going to go on and back to the 3s, since we put in an extra 3 here, and it doesn't. However, one thing I want to notice here is a thing called a conjugate pair. We only have 2 cells left, which means there can only be 2 candidates left for those 2 cells. So what are the 2 candidates? And we'll stick them into both cells. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6. We're missing 7 and we're missing 9. Now in these conjugates, I like to color them green, saying that this is where 7 9 is for a house. But it's also going to be where the 7 9 is for the row or the column, and I color columns red. Okay, we're just after finishing the 5s. We'll go on now to the 6s. Across this way, not there, not there. So in here is where we'll have the 6s. Nothing more there. We're on to 7s. Now this is also a pointing pair. The 7 9, well, the 7 anyway. We're looking at 7s. It has to be here, so it cannot be anywhere up along here. So just bear that in mind. And we bring that in with this 7, which has to be here. That means we're going to get a unique 7 there. Now across this way, not there, not there. 2 7s here. Okay, let's move on now to 8 down here. Oh, well, that's most disappointing. We can get nothing there with the 8s. And do we have a 9 anywhere? I ask myself. Oh, there's a 9 up there. Just a 1. Which I don't think is going to help us very much at all now, is it? Okay, that's our first pass through it. I'm wondering, is it time to do a second pass, or could we just look a little bit more closely at this? Let's give ourselves a bit of a time to consider any implications of what we have here. surprised we got so little now out of the first pass, and I don't see what we're going. Oh, I do see something we could get if we went through it a second time in 2 areas. I was just looking at this 2-9 here. Excuse me. But if we look at the 2, we can't have a 2 across there or across here. So there is a space there for a Snyder pair of 2s in there. And something I forgot about the 9. These 2 9s is a pointing pair. So we can't have a 9 up there, which means we have to have 9s here and here. And if we do it one last time, we can't have a 9 across this way because this is a pointing pair, which means we can't have 9s across there. We can't have the 9 up here, which gives us another pointing pair of 9s in here. And lastly, if we look upon this pointing pair down here and this one down here, we now get a unique 9 in here. And we got rid of a 6, so we put in our unique 9 there. And that means we're also going to have a unique 6 in here. So we missed quite a lot, or rather, I missed quite a lot. I won't say that we missed it. It was nothing to do with yourselves. You're not responsible for my mistakes at all. And that's everything now for the 9s as far as I can see. What about the 6s? Unfortunately not, because that's all we had there anyway. Oh dear. Okay, time to scratch the head, or in this case scratch the neck a little bit more and see what else we can do. Well, we know the 1s, there'll be no difference because there was just these 2 houses that were still left with the 1, so it's a waste of time looking at those 2s. The 2 any... Oh, look at here. On the 2, we can't have it here or we can't have it here. We now have a unique 2 coming in here. And having that unique 2 means we can't have it there or there. Also not down here. It gives us another little 2. This is opening up a little bit for us. Look at that. Can't have it there, there, or there. So we get a 2 in here. Pointing pairs are handy, aren't they? What else we got? Well, with that 2 there, we can't have this 2 here. Take that one out, which means this must be the unique 2. And that means this must be the unique 1. Look at this one. Can't be there. Can't be there. Another unique 2 in here. I hope I haven't made a mistake now because it's getting too easy all of a sudden. Can't be there or there, so this is the unique 2 here. And that's all the 2's done. We went from nothing to a lot. And the 1s, we should get something else out of the 1s now. We can't have it there. We don't. Or here. Makes no difference there. And over here it still makes, oh, it does make a difference here because we have a 1 here as well. So we get a Snyder pair of 1s in there. What's wrong with me? We can't get 1 here. Can't be there, can't be there, can't be here. So there's our Snyder pair of 1s here. So at this stage we have a 1 or a Snyder 1 in every house. We've got all the 2s done. Let's have a look at the rest of them. Well, actually on the 6s there's something there. That 6 means, cuts that off, gives us a space there to put in our 2 6s, and that is now going to be a pointing pair. And that's a pointing pair. Now it just means that this one here, we're going to have a triple in here. We just have 3 left. I'm just curious what those 3 will be. I'm going to put them into the center. We have 1 2 3, we're missing 4, we have 5, we're missing 6, we have 7, and we're missing 8. So 4, 6, and 8 is what will eventually be going in there. We have a 4 and 8 over here. Wasn't that handy? So that means we put a 6 in there. Out of the jaws of the feet. And that means we can't have a 6 there. So we'll just take those out. And that'll be a 4, 8. And that'll be a 4, 8 conjugate pair. That's a bit better. That's me 4, 8. And that goes in for a house and a column. Well, looking at this 4, 8 and the 5, we can't have a 5 there. Also, it can't go in here. So the 5s are going to be restricted to those 2 cells now. And this is also going to be a pointing pair, don't forget. So pointing pair of 5s there, which means we are now restricted to 5s up here. And the 5s up there, we now have made that into a conjugate pair for the house and for the column. Which means we're left here now with a triple. And let's just see what can go in there as a triple. We have 1, 2, 3, we're missing 4, we have 5 and 6, we have 7. And we're missing 8 and 9. So it'll be a 4, 8, 9 that goes in there. And, well, we can get rid of the 4 there. That's all we can do. So, yeah, a bit of a triple. Doesn't totally help us, but it does in a way. It means that in here we can't have a 4, 8, or 9. Now, I wondered, can we work out anything else about this, the rest of this column, based on this triple up here? I have a feeling we might, because we have a lot in here for this cell, and we've a lot now in terms of this column as well. So what can go in here? Well, we can't put in 1 or 2. We can put in, it's going to be a 3 or 4, isn't it? Yeah, 3. Oh, what's wrong with me? We can't, 3, we can't put in the 4 because we've got 4, 8, 9 up here at the top. Look at that. So let's forget about the 3 for a second. I'll come back to that 3. This 4 can't be there because of this triple up here at the top. So if we get rid of that there, it means this now must be our unique 4. Let's continue with the 4 for a minute. No, we don't do anything else with the 4. But we've got another conjugate pair in here. So what is left here? And I have a feeling we're going to end up with a unique down here as well. Because what's left now at the moment is we have 1, 2, we're missing 3, which I said, yeah, that'd be 3 down below. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're missing an 8. But we have a 4, 8, 9, which means we can't have an 8 there. Which means that one now must be the 3, and that one now must be the 8. That worked quite good, which means I'll come to those 3 and 8s in a minute. It means we must have a triple in here as well, because we have a triple up there. We must have a triple down here. And I'll just look into the centers again. And they're going to have to be a 1, 2, 3. We have the 4 up at the top. 5. We have a 6. We don't have a 7, and we have an 8, 9. So it's a 1, 5, 7 that's going in here. We know where the 1s are, we know where the 5s are, and the 7s are going to be along there. So, yeah, I'll just leave them sitting there. Oh, look at that. If that's a triple, and that's a double or a conjugate pair, we then know what has to go in here. And what we're missing now is we have 1 over here, we have 2. We're missing 3. 3 has to go in there. So let's go into 3s again. Over this way, we can't have a 3 there, we can't have a 3 there, so that's where our 3s are going to eventually end up. Can't be there, can't be there, so we'll have 3s here, which tie up with these 2 3s here. It makes sense, because I'd say that's probably all the 3s now, is it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, over there at the end, yeah. So there's just, oh, okay, I know we can get rid of one of the 3s down here, but we'd have to use an advanced technique for that, and we're only using basic techniques, so let's stay as we are, okay? Although maybe there's more than one way to skin a cat. If we look at these 2 cells, they're the only 2 left now in this row, so there must be a conjugate pair. And what's missing there is, again, I'll put them into the center, is 3. We have 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 3 and a 9. So, sorry, I shouldn't have put them in the center. I should have put them on the outside. It's a 3 and a 9, and it's a conjugate pair for the house, and this time it's conjugate pair for the row. And we have another conjugate pair down here, there and there for this row. So that also has to be a 7, 9 as well. And this time that one and this one will be the conjugate pair for the row. So you notice this one is a conjugate pair for the house, for the column, and for the row, which might help at some stage. Oh, look at here. We have those 2 filled out. This 7, 9 must also be, there must be a 7, 9 in here as well. And now we put those 2 for the house. All these conjugate pairs are getting a little bit complex, aren't they? But they're filling up stuff, which is great for us. Yeah. Oh, there's still life in this puzzle. Look at this column here. All that's left there is the 9. That must be our unique 9. So let's get rid of that one there then. But I'm not seeing anything else that is simple. We're close to having to call a halt now, aren't we? Oh, wait a minute. Look at this over here. There's a 5 there. So I'm sure you've been shouting at me for the last half hour about this one. That can't be a 5. Excuse me. That must be the 6. And this one must be the 5. And let's get rid of those old colours now. So that's that one completed. And 5 and 6 must do something else for us. I don't believe that's us finished. Ah, yeah, so that 5 gets rid of this one here. And that means this one here now must be the 5. Leaving 2 left in here. What's left in there now? Another conjugate pair. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing 6 and 8. And that is just purely for a house. Well, if that's 6 and 8, if we just look at this column, we have 7, 9, 7, 9. That means this one here must also be 6, 8. And we're now into a column. Oh dear, stop the presses there. I think I've made a mistake. I'm going to have to go back on. This is wrong. That's not a 7979. Oh dear, and I used that fairly early on this one to get a 6868. I need to get rid of all of these for a second. Hold on, because see that 9 here. What are we missing here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These should be a 7, 8, not a 7, 9. Okay, I need to stop and go back over things because this is now totally wrong. That is probably wrong as well. That's probably wrong. I just hope I can recover this and don't have to go back and start again. So give me a while and let's see if I can unravel where my mistake was or is. Okay? Right, I've cleared off all these conjugate pairs and we can just go and build them up again from scratch. So if we look at these two here. What's left missing out of that is 7 and 9, isn't it? Yeah, 7 and 9. But we have a 9 here, so that means this one here must be the 7, and that one here must be the 9. Now we go for the next two. Oh, well, it's no longer a conjugate pair, it's a single one. So what has to go in here then must be the 7. Then we have these two over here, and they must be the 3 into here, 3 and 9, and they are for the house and they're also for the row, and that means we've just got one left here, and that must be the 8. So we can put in a unique 8 in there, and then up here we do have a conjugate pair still, and they are going to be 6, 8, isn't it? Yep. So we put in 6, 8. And they are going to be for the row. And again, we have to have a 6, 8 in here. 6, 8, and then we have that for the house. Whew, that was close. That was very, very close. Okay, the main things that we put in there were a 7s and 9s, wasn't it? And an 8. 7, 9s and 8. So let's just check those to see if anything has changed from those. I'd say that probably is 7s, yes, I'd say so. Because we have a 7 here now, that means we can't have the 7 up there. And that gives us a 7 here, a unique 7. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the middle. No, so we can't do any more of the 7s, the 8s. Well, yes, we get a place here for the 8s. That's all. What about the 9? Maybe something there? Yep, can't have it here or here, so we have a pointing pair of 9s in there. You know what? I hate giving up at this late stage. And I'm just trying to work out, is there any other way of defining any of these 3s around the place? And this would seem to be a likely one since we've got so much between here and here. Like we have 1, 2, we're missing 3. Do we have a 4 anywhere? 4, and what else? Yes, it's 3 and 9, and there's no way we can decide on a 9 here. So these two don't look as if we can do anything. What about these 2 3s up here? Sorry, I've been away from the microphone. This one doesn't look good. 1, 2, 3, we've no 4. We have a 4 here. So we go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have a 6? Oh, we have a 6. 6. We have a 7. Do we have an 8? No, we don't have an 8. Oh, we have an 8 down there. 8, and we have a 9. Look at that. That's the only thing that can go in here is the 3. So put that in there. That 3 in there gets rid of this one. Getting rid of that 3 makes this one the 3 and not the 5. So put that 3 in there, and that then becomes the 5. But also that 3 means this one has to be the 9, and that one there has to be the 3. So let's get rid of those colors first. And we have a 5 here. That must have done something now. Can we finish this off for once and for all, and let's get finished with this? Oh, just looking, I don't know how long this has been here, but we also have another conjugate pair out here, which must be an 8, 9, 8, 9, and we have an 8 here. That one there has to be a 9. That's a 9. That one there has to be the 8. And I'm just going to get rid of those two 8s there. So we now have a 4, 9, 4, 9 in here. Should we have another conjugate pair in here? What's missing out of there? It's going to be 4, 6. We should be able to sort this out now without having to resort to advanced tactics. Well, in terms of this row over here, we can't have a 9 here because we have that 9 there. We can't have a 9 here. So this one over here must be the 9, which means this one here must be the 4. So that makes this one here, which one was it? This one here, 6, 8. There has to be a 6, 8 there as well. Just filling in the bits and pieces. Now we can't have, or we can. Yes, sorry, my mistake. That is still okay. Okay, looking at this one across here, there's 1, 5, 7. So this is now going to be a triple on 1, 5, and 7. But we have a 1 and 5 here, which means that then must be the 7. And that'll get rid of that 7 there. So we now have 2 7s here. Sure, look. 1, 5 here means this has to be a 1, 5, but you have a 5 there. That then has to be the 1. If that's the 1, then this is the 5. If that's the 5, this one can't be the 5. It must be the 7. If that's the 7, this can't be the 7. It must be the 1, which means, well, we can't have that 1 there anyway. Sorry, hit the wrong button. And we now have a, what do you call it, one of those conjugate pairs in here. And the conjugate pair in there is now going to be, it's going to be a 7 and a 9. And should we have a 7 over there, which means this one now must be the 9. And that one there must be the 7. That 9 there, not sure when that 9 went in. It means we can't have a 9 there. So this now must be the 9. And that gives us a 6, 8, 6, 8. We have nothing there to get rid of the 6, 8, so we'll just pop it in there. And you know, for the life of me, I can't see way beyond here. Oh, I hate to say it, but I have a feeling that you need a chain to get out of this, or maybe there's a uniqueness test. Yeah, I think because we're so near the end, and I think this is one of the cases of if everything is a binary and one of them is not a binary, then that cell that doesn't have the binary is the solution. And I'm not going to come up with another, I'm not going to do another video just for that one thing. So let's see what that makes sense. All I have to do is find out what can go into, well, that's the 6, 8, 6, 8, so that's stuck, that's stuck, that's stuck, that's stuck. So it's just these two. What can go into those two cells? Well, hold on a minute. We know this one has to be a 4, 6 because of the house. That has to be a 4, 6, 4, 6, and then 4, 6, 6, 8, 4, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8. And what has to go into this one then? That's the one that's going to be the defining one for the solution of this puzzle. And that's it. That one has to be a 4, 6, 8. So that is the only cell that does not have a binary in it. Okay, now to finish this off, there's 2 ways of finishing it off, and I'll show you both ways. And there are links down below to tutorials on both of these. One is using a simple singles chain. And if you look at this one here, if that, just suppose that is a 6. If that's a 6, this is not a 6. If that's not a 6, then this is a 6. If that's a 6, then this is not a 6. And because they are all strong links, we'll be able to get rid of that 6. Now you need to go down below and look at it. This is an advanced technique. But using that chain there, we can get rid of this 6. There's another chain that we can use is from there to there, there to there, which will allow us to get rid of this 6, starting here and finishing here. Alright, so I don't want to go through those in detail. It is an advanced technique, and there are tutorials down below as well worth your while to have a look at the tutorial and see that you can get rid of that 6 or this 6, which will start us off on the 8. And once we get started, all of these are interlinked, we will finish. But there's another one I want to show to you, which is called, and I'm very proud that I've actually recognized this because this is only something I've learned recently. It's called the Binary Universal Grave, BUG. I think it's called the BUG-1. And it comes at the end when all you have are binaries except for one cell that has 3. If you can get that, what you do now is you look around and you take, for example, this one, a 6. There are 2 6s in the house. There are 2 6s in the, what do you call this thing, in the column, and there's 2 6s in the rows. You'll find that for every one that you're looking at, there's 2 4s that way. There's no 3s, in other words, so there's 2 4s that way, 2 4s this way. And the only place where you'll find 3 of the candidate, excuse me, is up here. This 6. There are 3 6s here, there are 3 6s here, and there are 3 6s that way. And this comes back to this whole idea that the uniqueness test, that you can only have one possible solution for your puzzle. Now, there is a tutorial down below on it called the Binary Universal Grave, BUG. I think it's the last one in the series. Have a look at that, please. Let me see, what number is it? It's actually tutorial 31 in the series. So please go and have a look at that if you don't understand it. Because we'll just put in the 6 there, which means this one must be a 4. This one here must be the 8. You see, everything just starts falling apart now. That one there has to be a 6. If that's a 6, that one there has to be an 8, making that one a 6, making that one an 8, making that one a 4, making that one an 8, and making that one a 6, making that one a 4. And that there is the solution to our puzzle. Okay, it took quite a long time. I'm delighted that we came to that solution at the very end, because it is a good tutorial for beginners to see how far you can go. We can go quite a lot. And then at the end, I'm sorry, but I had to put in the solution in there, but just wasn't worthwhile making another video. All right. Look, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to give thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and click the bell. And there will be another one out in about a week's time. Excuse me. Which will be hopefully next Friday, which I was going to say is going to be the 32nd, but it can't be the 32nd. Okay, look, thanks for watching. I will see you again. Slán Tamil.